How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We're going to be checking out this video that I came across called 10 Things Australians Will Never Do. The original channel is Aussie English. I know nothing about this channel. I know nothing about this video. As far as I know, I've never came across this channel before. He doesn't necessarily look familiar. I mean, he's got a similar face to a lot of people for sure. Doesn't look familiar though. But anyways, links down below for this in the description section as always. And I'm gonna go ahead and subscribe just preemptively because Aussie English, it's probably something that I'll be checking out again in the future. So thanks for watching with me, guys. Let's watch this together.
Not being able to make eye contact with people through the cracks in the bathroom stall door. Why do you Americans do this to yourselves? What? Having
Not being able to make eye contact. Nobody does that. Nobody makes eye contact. I don't like the cracks in the doors. Nobody likes the cracks in the doors. What you do is you know the cracks are there. You avoid them. You don't look through them. You don't try to look through them. It's just one of those things. Yeah.
do this to yourselves. What? Having your kitchen and laundry combined so that the machines are in the same room? That's
Okay, so this is 10 things that Australians will never do. I see. Okay, so he's kind of reacting. He's reacting to posts, I see, as an Australian. And this is something that Americans don't do either.
really weird. Being expected to know another language other than English.
Not here in America either. This is the stuff, and I've said it before in the channel about how I feel like Australia has a lot more similarities with America, with the United States, than Britain. As far as the way things are, the big countries, the spread out, the vast amounts of nothing in between these towns and cities is very much like America. The fact that you're isolated, you don't really have any other countries around you too much. I mean, of course, we have Mexico. They speak Spanish, and there's parts of Canada that speaks French, but it's still not as surrounded by other cultures and stuff. It's like Europe, right?
Wow, that would never happen in Australia. They would expect you to know English.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
But I can't imagine them expecting you to know another language unless you went to an area where there was a large community of people, say Italians or Greeks or Vietnamese people, and you went into a store that usually just services that community. Sometimes you'll meet people there who don't even speak English. So maybe in that situation, they may be like, well, we assume you're not going to try and speak English with us because we speak Vietnamese here.
You are not.
I mean, that makes sense. Kind of like if you go to like, I guess like Chinatown in like New York City or something where like everybody speaks Mandarin.
Not from around here, are you?
But other than that, no, that'd be very weird. But I can imagine in Europe that happens everywhere.
Yeah, in Europe.
Unions. Just watched Cloud9 on Netflix, and if someone tried to bust a union in my country, it'd make national news and gather massive support. Yeah, so there are lots of unions here in Australia too. Again, I'm not sure if that would be America or Europe. So unions are
Yeah, there's unions here in America too. So I don't know too much about this, so I can't really provide too much input on it. We'll see what he has to say though.
effectively groups that take care of workers' rights in Australia. So you'll have like the teachers union or the workers union at work sites, tradies union, and they look after those workers. I think it would be the same thing in Australia. If you tried to bust up a union here and get rid of it, get rid of unions altogether, people would riot.
That's not gonna happen.
I think you would have a lot of people in the streets protesting. Songs with swear
Yeah, and we do have those kind of unions here. Just like I said, I don't know too much about it. So, songs of swear words.
words being broadcasted on the radio or swear words not being covered with a beep tone on TV. It's always felt weird to me that Americans are all about being free and freedom of speech, but then again, they're scared of some stupid words. Yeah, it's pretty funny. I find that amusing too, and it happened in Australia when I was growing up. There would be certain restrictions with what type of TV could be shown at what times, and it would be the same for radio. And so if it was during a certain period of time, like say 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. in that window, there's probably a restriction and it has to be PG, meaning having parental guidance. So they're not going to have swearing, they're not going to have sex scenes, or they're not going to have people talking about adult themes like drugs.
We need to protect the children.
I guess that was kind of like that here, because then you got like late night TV after like 10 o'clock and they start showing more spicy stuff.
The swear words in music would always be beeped out, but if you're watching late at night or early in the morning, it wouldn't be. The weird thing was that you could always tell what the swear word was. For you'd hear beep.
They did that here.
And so I always found it kind of redundant. It's like you might as well just mute the whole thing.
Guys, I am very aware of the fucking
Good
stupid
point.
fact that I have to beep out every fucking swear word because fucking YouTube will demonetize me.
Automatically receiving a voting ballot in the
Oh, that's great.
mail and getting paid time off to go voting. Jesus, this is Europe. I can't imagine doing that. I can imagine getting the voting ballot. That'll happen in Australia, right? You'll get that in the mail, or at least instructions on how to vote. But I can't imagine being paid to go and vote. I don't think that would happen here. Putting mayonnaise on French fries instead of ketchup.
Why would you do that?
Dutch. That's a Dutch thing. And you know what? I've tried it. It's actually so good. It is really good.
Firstly, ketchup. So this is American. Ketchup, we would never say ketchup. We would say tomato sauce. Or if you're really Australian, dead horse. But yeah, it's becoming more and more common to see aioli, which I think is what, garlic and mayonnaise, being offered at places where you get burgers and chips and everything for you to have the chips dipped in. So it's becoming
garlic mayonnaise. Okay, that sounds good.
Less and less of a weird thing. When I was growing up, it was not something you would have ever seen anyway. Maybe tartare sauce at a fish and chip place, but not mayonnaise. When I was studying architecture in Prague, the dorms that turned into a hostel in the summer had co-ed showers with private stalls. Everyone took their shower in the stall and then toweled off in the common area together. Yeah, so I guess the thing here is having toilets where men and women can both go. There are places in Australia where you'll have unisex facilities, so that means that either sex can go and use them. I always found it weird that we kind of have these separated. I guess we probably do it for the sake of children, but at the same time, it's kind of like once you have your own family and you live at home with a group of people, everyone uses the bathroom together.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not really a weird thing. So I always found it a bit strange that we don't have more unisex facilities, especially if they're all stalls that you can use privately.
It's because people... There's bad seeds in this world, guy. There's bad people that would take advantage of that, and they'd be doing naughty things in those stalls. 100%. 100%. But I understand. It's a bathroom. There's no reason why we can't share a bathroom, right? I mean, you do it at your house.
What are you going to see? If they're not change rooms, they're just toilets. Don't find it that weird. Letting kids go to school or walk around the neighborhood by themselves without supervision. A Dutch family moved to the US and their kids went to school on their bikes like they always do. After a while, the police showed up on their doorstep and Child Protective Services.
That sounds like
That's weird. That's very weird. In Australia, it's pretty common for kids to just walk to school or to ride their bikes to school. There's no issue here.
Will somebody please call Child Protective Services?
And there's no problem here either, except for some people have a problem with it, and you have those people that go over the top and then they call protective services and stuff. Like you see videos, it's the Karens in the world. It's the Karens that probably had a problem with these children riding their bike or something to school and just decided that they were gonna call the authorities. I guess it's crazy, guys. It's crazy.
I think people are a lot less liberal than they used to be. So when my dad was a kid, at the age of 8, he was probably out and about in the streets without supervision. For us, it's probably more like once you get to about 12 years old, unless you're going to school. And usually when you're going to school at a younger age, under 12, you're probably going to be with other kids or maybe walking with other family members. But anytime you're going to and from school, there's other people in the street doing the same thing. So it's kind of pretty safe. Taking the bus. There is so much stigma around public transport in the US, especially buses, and in Europe it's just a totally normal way to get around because no one wants to deal with driving and parking in a big city. Yeah, in the big
The thing about this is there's no public transportation in the United States compared to Europe. I found out a lot of this on my main channel called itscharlievest, where I react to a ton of stuff about the Netherlands, all across Europe, but mainly the Netherlands. And there's public transportation like crazy out there. And the thing is over there in the Netherlands and in Europe in general, people walk around. The cities are walkable. Okay, there's bike paths, mainly in the Netherlands are known for bikes, but they have bike paths. People ride bikes. Old people, it doesn't matter. Young people, old people, it doesn't matter what age you are. It doesn't even matter if it's snowing or raining. It's normal to ride a bike. It makes sense. Why are you getting in your car and congesting the street just to go right up the road? You know, and the thing is here in the United States, they make it where you almost cannot get around by bike unless you just live in the middle of like a giant city. And even then it's like people are rude. People think, oh, you're riding a bike, or oh, you're on a bus, oh, you must be shit, you must be beneath me, you must have nothing, blah blah blah. They look down on people that ride public transportation and ride bikes and stuff, like, oh, look at you, haha, look at you, peasant, you can't afford a car, this and that. It's just a weird stigma about it. I've never understood it. It makes no sense to me. We need public transportation here. We need walkable cities. We need bike paths. That is what we need. We need no more assholes to put people down that's trying to ride a bike or use a bus. Like, stop being like that. Get with the times. We need public transportation. It's that simple.
Big cities in Australia, this would be pretty normal, getting a bus or getting a train or a tram if you've got them in your city. But when you go out into the more rural areas, it's definitely a little more dodgy. You're going to come across a lot of interesting characters on the bus, because generally they're going to be people who don't have the kind of income to be able to purchase a car and drive the car where they want to go.
Or because of certain substances, they may be unable to drive a car.
So they'll be young kids or students. But then you're going to get, if they're 30, 40, 50 years old, they're going to be probably a little on the strange side quite often.
Bus wankers! Where did that come from? I don't know, it just felt right.
I mean, I've heard a lot of stories. My wife uses the bus sometimes, and
the in-betweeners. I might be reacting to that, watching that here soon on my Patreon. I'm not quite sure yet, but that one did come up in the recommendations because I finished a show, the IT crowd, and I have to switch it with something else, so we'll see.
She's just like, geez, there are some rare units on the bus. Apparently having your laundry machines in the kitchen, I think it would be great, but Americans appear to be horrified by the thought on real estate social media groups. Yeah, that's weird. Having your kitchen and laundry combined so that the machines are in the same room, that's really weird.
Who does that?
You would have your washing.
The thing is another thing about Australia being similar to America is the houses are bigger. You have more land. You have, nothing's crammed and small and tiny like it is in Europe. The lack of public transportation, lack of bike paths, all that kind of stuff. And the fact that you have a bigger house, just like in Americans, the houses tend to be bigger. They tend to just make a separate room for the laundry, right? Whereas in Europe, everything's smaller. It's more common to be combined into the kitchen.
Who does that?
You would have your washing machine and or your dryer in a laundry, a different room in Australia, and you'll have your dishwasher and everything in the kitchen, and never the two shall meet. They'll be separated well and truly. Right. So that would be a bit of a shock, I think, unless you were living in, say, a one-bedroom apartment or something, or a studio apartment where it's all the same room and there's no space, so you make sure, you have all the machines in the same place. But if it's a normal house, you're never going to see that in Australia. Not being able to make eye contact with people through the cracks in the bathroom stall door. Why do you Americans do this to yourselves? What? Not being able to make eye contact with people through the cracks in the bathroom stall door.
That's creepy.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they're asking, to be honest. Are they?
Nobody's looking. Nobody's looking. There's a crack. We all know there's a little crack in the stall doors about yay wide for whatever reason, and there's a gap under it about sometimes almost a foot. Yeah, but nobody looks. Nobody looks.
They're thinking it's weird because you can't do it, or they're thinking it's weird because you can do it. Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I'm
Making
confused.
Eye contact through the stall door in the bathroom. I think you would generally just leave people alone. If they're going to the toilet, just leave them alone. Thanks for joining me, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Check out this one if you want to learn about culture shock in Australia, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Yeah, this is entertaining. This is a good channel. I'm glad that I clicked subscribe on it. So you guys can go ahead and find the link to the original video in that description section down below. So you can jump over there and hit subscribe and like and do all that stuff as well. Drop your comments down below, all your feedback. Thanks for watching with me. You guys have a super fun, awesome day. Take care. Bye.